Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you're all doing well, and welcome to this community showdown. It's going to be Tzeentch led by LVO facing off against the Chaos Dwarfs, who shall be helmed by Via Anime here in the Changer's Madhouse. And if my eyes do not deceive me, it looks like it is going to be a Dreadquake mortar. So this is patch 5.3. Dreadquake mortars have gotten a cost reduction of 200 gold, so of course they're going to take over the entire meta, but all jokes aside, we'll have to see how it does. Again, Tzeentch, I'm trying to think. It is pretty snipeable. That's the one thing you've got to watch out for. The Tzeentch meta in this matchup is basically to use these very powerful Tzeentch Lords. So the Chaos Lord on his disc with anti-large, and it can hunt this thing. But yeah, we'll see. I mean, if it can consistently hit Zangor units and knock them out of the battle, I think moving the Dreadquake up like mid-range and shooting at a closer distance would probably be better. But very curious to see how this game goes. I'm a big Chowie enjoyer, so I'm hyped for it. So we do have a Bale Taurus character of death. He's going to be Spirit Leech and Buna. Makes sense. If they come in Changebringer, Centaurs of Tzeentch, you're going to want that Buna, and Spirit Leech is always good. Chaos Dwarf Warriors and one Infernal Guard Fireglaive. Very heavy metal build coming in here from Via Anime. And on the other side, on Tzeentch, we do have the very meta Air Force, which is going to be the Exalted Hero as well as the Chaos Lord. And do we have the Book of Secrets? We do not. So it's just going to be the Chaos Lord as well as the hero looking to go fisticuffs and hunt the Bale Taurus character. Aside from that, front line's going to be Zangors with a little bit of pink support in the back and some Chaos Warriors and a Metal Caster with Final Transmutation. That's going to be it. Let's get this party started. I can't help but get nervous for the Chaos Dwarf player. I mean, Dreadquake mortars are so hard to pull off. I find that they just miss nonstop. But let's see. Will Hashit bless this one? Yeah, a little bit of a Hashit blessing. I feel like if anything should have like a big afterburner effect. I mean, I know the Dreadquake kind of does, but make it a little bit stronger so when it hits, it's really impactful. I guess it did do some decent damage there to those Angors, so that's a really good start for the Dreadquake. Normally, it doesn't have such a good start, but you know, we'll find out here. So here comes the next shot. I feel like we could just literally forsake everything else in the game and just not watch anything and just watch these Dreadquakes go off. All right, come on, baby. Give us a direct hit. Give it to us. It's not that I'm rooting against LVO. It's just that I really, really want to see the Dreadquake hit things. And it does slow things, just like in Tabletop. The Dreadquake mortar does slow down targets, which is always a good old time. So Sorcerer Prophet's going to be cruising over here, going after the Chaos Lord of Tzeentch. He is hunting him down, and will he get his prize? Find out today. Okay, looks like the Chaos Lord's going to be pulled back, as is the Exalted Hero. Now, moving up are the Chowie Legions. They do take Objective 1, and the Dreadquake Mortar is moving mid-range, so I think this is very good by Via Anime here. That's the way to do it. So there's going to be another shot right now, and unfortunately, I think that was actually targeting the Chaos Sorcerer. And of course, you can see the rest of the shots are being dodged. The Chaos Dwarves do not have a restock ammunition ability, so unfortunately, unlike Vampire Coast, who can restock something like Queen Bess, and I wonder if it's still bugged. The Dreadquake Mortar used to have an issue where it just shot no matter what, even when you turned off fire at will, and I have a feeling that might be the case. That's why he's facing it the other direction. But we're going to have to see what I can get done here. So the Infernal Guard Fireglaves have moved up and are now ripping some shots into the Zangors. Zangors do take a little bit of damage. Nothing too serious. Oh, yeah, direct hit right there. Nice. All right, so big damage going down on the Pink Horrors. That's going to get them pretty close to maybe even breaking leadership. Now, it doesn't look like they're holding strong, but yeah, that gets them down to about half health, which is good. There, we have a Searing Doom from Tzeentch, and Centaurs of Tzeentch going to be on the backside. Obviously, there is going to be a big old Fate of Buna on those guys. If I would imagine that's going to be the case. We have two Fireglaves out now, so we have one Fireglaive here and another, and they're respectable against Cav units, but even still, the Centaurs of Tzeentch with the heroes will be able to probably run over the Infernal Guard pretty effectively. The Bale Taurus will need to come help, and classic Dreadquake mortars. This is what I'm talking about, just nuking mostly your Chowie infantry. It always feels so bad when it does that, but hey, you know, I love to see it. Infernal Guard are attacked by these two heroes. We do get Bull Centaur Vendors with Great Weapons being called in, and they should be able to dominate these Centaurs of Tzeentch, if I'm not mistaken. Centaurs of Tzeentch, very strong unit. They did just get a pretty massive cost increase of plus 100 gold, if I'm not mistaken, but a second Centaur of Tzeentch, which I didn't see, was coming around the flank there. So there's a chance that these Bull Centaur Renders are going to get wrecked really bad. They do get the aspect of the Dread Knight, which is going to be giving him leadership and magic damage, so it's somewhat helpful, but I think there needs to be some Hobgoblins coming out, because man, oh man, the double Centaur, of course, is enough stopping power to probably kill these guys, but the fact that there's two anti-large heroes there too is going to fold up the Bull Centaurs rather quickly. But the Infernal Guard trying to get line of sight here, one of them shooting from downtown, but unfortunately is tied up in melee. The dreaded Dreadquake Mortar trying to waddle away from the nearby threats, and the Chaos Dwarf battle lines. A Chaos Dwarf Warrior against a Zangor. I'm actually not sure who wins that. I feel like it's more or less probably an even trade. Maybe the Zangors like edge it out just barely, but hard to say. So the trading in the backfield, the Bull Centaur Runners do get taken offline. Here we do see Hobo Goblins trying to chase down the Centaurs of Tzeentch, but probably going to get wrecked pretty bad. The Balesaurus character might be able to make a difference in that fight. And the hero characters, the Exalted Hero and the Chaos Lord, it looks like the hero actually ate a lot of firepower from those Infernal Guard Fireglaves. And we do see the Chaos Dwarfs pulling a little bit ahead in value, having gotten some big nuking damage on those heroes. And one unit is chased off the battlefield. The Furies are attacking the big Balesaurus character, and now it looks like he's going to be going fisticuffs here with maybe the Chaos characters, but you don't want that, right? The Chaos Lord of Tzeentch as well as the hero are both excellent anti-large duelists. Not something that you're going to be enjoying. So looking around the battlefield, we do see Objective 1 belonging to the Chaos Dwarves. Objective 2 belongs to Tzeentch. So Tzeentch is hanging on to that one pretty well. Looks like the Pinks are going to be turning the tide of a couple of these melee fights. And up in the sky, the old Balesaurus character is going to be running, kiting these guys, and using the Spirit Leech to try and wear down the hero if he can. I'm trying to think about the best answer to deal with this, because whenever I play Chaos Dwarfs into Tzeentch, I really do struggle against these heroes. Because the Balesaurus, if you want to like win a tournament, you usually always bring the Balesaurus, right? But I'm trying to think how you would effectively deal with these Exalted Heroes. Maybe the key is to go for like foot characters, like a very, very low to the ground army, a very short army, pun completely intended, but hard to say. Chaos Dwarves are up in value a little bit, but I think they're actually behind in value because of the shield healing from Tzeentch. And is the Dreadquake Mortar going to be shooting? Let's see. It does have a minimum range, so it's not going to be shooting. It might even waste an ammo on this Chaos Sword. That would feel bad. But Colin is going to be a Skullcracker. It's a pretty good choice. You know, it's fast, it's elusive, and really, really good against these infantry. So you can see it is going to be rolling through those Angors, doing some pretty considerable HP damage. Dreadquake Mortar is now basically in melee. It really is going to want to turn and shoot at these pink cores if it can. Balesaurus character attacking in. We do see a triple cap coming in for LVO, so Tzeentch is going to be getting a triple cap here, while an overcasted final transmutation is dropped by LVO. Really, really nice cast, hitting a multitude of high-value targets. But the Infernal Guard are holding strong. The Fireglaves, I wish they were as cool as in tabletop. Unfortunately, they're pretty haggard. Yeah, I wish they were a little bit better, but it is what it is, and they are shooting into the Centaurs of Tzeentch and getting some respectable damage value. Here we do see a point-blank Dreadquake Mortar and what's going to be happening, and it should hit at that range, and it does, so that is going to melt quite a bit of HP off those guys, as we do see these Skullcrackers rolling around looking for targets. Dreadquake is one of the models coming up on my list of things to paint soon. I do have one in the garage. It is an absolute beast of a model, certainly a lot of detail in that thing. But Chaos Dwarfs kind of stabilize their backfield, but they are massively outcapped, which is going to be precarious. We do see the Chaos Dwarf Warriors and the Infernal Guard Fireglaves winning a lot of their respective fights, and the Dreadquake Mortar is still generating value. It's got about 1,100 so far, which is pretty good considering. It costs 1,800 gold now. It used to cost 2,000, so you could probably honestly make the Dreadquake 1,600, and I think it would be fine. It's like, it does so much friendly fire damage that probably is fair. So Tzeentch going to be going after the anti-infantry tools of the Chaos Dwarves. We do see the Skullcracker suffering pretty bad. Centaurs, of course, not anti-large, but amazing AP, so they can punch through this. And then the two heroes, in tandem with the Wizard here, who is a respectable fighter on his own, is going to be chasing. And we do see the Balesaurus character going in. I don't think that warrants a retreat from Tzeentch, but the Spirit Leech, will it get that Exalted Hero broken? I don't think so. Centaurs countercharging into the Sorcerer Prophet as he does pull back. And it looks like the Dwarfs are going to be grabbing Objective 1 right now, so their Warriors do grab that point. A couple Bull Centaurs going to be trying to anchor that, and the Dreadquake Mortar is still being dreaded? I think it is. What is it going to be shooting right now? So let's follow it. Currently 1,200 value, so it's getting to the point of almost paying for itself. Chaos Warriors versus the Chaos Dwarf Warriors should be a bit of a wet noodle contest between those two. I think the Chaos Warrior, I don't know, let's look at the stat line. Yeah, they're pretty damn similar. Bombardment going down there does nail those pinks. Is it going to get them to disintegrate? It does break through. It didn't quite look like a direct hit. It was kind of like right in front of them there. Centaurs of Tzeentch, though, I think are one of the biggest issues in this matchup, because Chaos Dwarves, you don't really have anything that like just hard trades into them. And that's the same with a lot of Cav factions. Tzeentch tends to dominate the Cav engagements in almost every matchup they're in versus Cav factions. Bretonnia might be the exception, but I don't even know, right? Like Centaurs plus Screamers teaming up together, they have Halberds too. It just makes them such a good anti-Cav faction. But the Dwarfs do get Objective 1. On the backside, Hobgoblins chasing down the Zangors, protecting their assets here. We have two Fireglaves coming out and a third Fireglaive. A man after my own heart. I certainly love seeing the Fireglaves. And Tzeentch has fallen behind on value. It looks like the Chaos Dwarves have taken over the battlefield, at least their side of the battlefield. But remember, they have to waddle. They're very, very slow, so it's going to take them some time to get up here. I mean, they're faster than regular Dwarves with their monsters and cavalry, but overall, yeah, a little bit slow. Another Dreadquake shot. All right in the old face. And are they crumbling? Nope, they're hanging in there just nice and fine. 32 leadership here, as we do see the advancing Dwarfs coming on up. The Skullcracker's still alive with about 900 HP. Might as well throw that bad boy in while you can. But multiple units of Centaurs and the Tzeentch Hero Corps still in very good shape. I would imagine that another final transmutation is going to be in the back pocket. And definitely Dreadquaking Yeah, that's the wrong target. I mean, Dreadquake and this healthy unit of Halberds would feel really, really good. Is that going to be a Buna? It is Fate of Buna. That's a good cast. You want a Buna, Centaurs of Tzeentch every chance you get. So we'll slow those bad boys down, and I would imagine the gun line, maybe some of the Infernal Guard Fireglaves will turn their sights over to these. That would be the correct play for sure. Advancing up is the Skullcracker, and on the backside, we do see the Centaurs of Tzeentch and the dreaded long line formation. The 13th Warrior, it's like when they come down from the Hill of Fire. And where's the Dreadquake going to go? Is it still going after those gremlins there? It looks like it is. Unfortunate, could have gotten a lot of value off those Chaos Warriors, but you know, it is what it is, not the end of the world. So the Buna does wreck the Centaurs of Tzeentch, and they do get harried off the battlefield by the cowardly despoilers, the Hobgoblins, so that's some good stuff. But the Chaos Lord gets bullied a little bit. The Chaos Dwarf Lord gets bullied by the 2 anti-large characters, which is to be expected. Tzeentch army ability going down to the backfield. Brutal stuff. Man, nasty, nasty cast right there. As those Fireglaves get melted, they're basically full health. That feels really, really bad. So staggered Fireglaive should be respectable against Centaurs, that is for sure. But are the Dwarfs going to be able to get the objectives back in time is the question. The middle objective is in flux. We do have the Chaos Warrior Halberds here, though, who will probably be able to dominate the Dwarves, simply because the Dwarves do not have armor piercing, whereas their opponents do right here. So the armor of the Chaos Dwarf Warriors is not going to hold up super well, and it looks like Tzeentch is going to be able to hold on to that objective. And I think this is going to be the death of the Chaos Dwarves here. The Sorcerer Prophet is the hard carry for the faction. You think vampire counts are dependent on their lord? Chaos Dwarves, if their Sorcerer Prophet is their breadwinner, 100%. And you know, I think there's like Chaos Dwarves are a faction that are just so dependent on them. It's very tough to win consistently at a high level without using the Sorcerer Prophet character, which maybe it's a design thing with the rest of the faction. I still think that Chaos Dwarves probably need a couple buffs. I think there's some units on their roster, like the Infernal Guard Fireglaves, could probably use a cost reduction as well. And there's a handful of other things that are a little bit funky. And their Hobgoblins, despite getting a multitude of buffs, I don't know if they're there yet. Maybe they need a little bit more milk. So looking around the battlefield, we do see a call-in. It is going to be Bull Centaurs with Great Weapons. They will, of course, be able to fight against these, but I think the Centaurs and just the various other kind of poking, you know, chaff units here, the pink cores, will be able to kind of wear them down and win. Like, if you charge them with the Centaurs, shoot them with the pinks, and then countercharge with the Chaos Sword, I think you win that fight. On the middle objective, we do see the Halberd boys hanging in there, but another Dwarf unit does arrive to the point, and what are the Halberd guns up to back here? Looks like they're going to be fighting some Zangors. Should be able to win that fight. And the other Infernal Guard have moved up, and they have decent line of sight here. Not the best, not the worst. And yeah, I always wish in tabletop that gun units could fire in multiple ranks, but sadly only the front rank can fire. So it's always pain. I wish it was more like this, but maybe shooting would be a little bit too OP. I don't know. Old World is a wild game indeed. So looking at Objective 2, Tzeentch is holding it down. And we do see the Chaos Dwarf sitting on Objective 1. The Chowie might actually have the opportunity to grab that point there, but with their Sorcerer Prophet being off the battlefield, I think we're going to be seeing big issues with leadership amongst all of their mobility here. The Hobgoblins are going to be folding up very, very quickly. Fury should be able to deal with them with the Chaos Lord, and I think that's probably going to be all she wrote. As we do a little bit of fast forwarding here, we see the Dwarfs trying to grab this, and it's not going to be enough. So GG well played, you know, to both players. A really fun match. Especially considering you brought a Dreadquake. Like Via, I think if Via just switches the Dreadquake out for like any number of efficient units, I think he's in a position to have a very close, maybe even winning game. But the Dreadquake, I think, was just so haggard. I mean, it got 1400 value, which isn't terrible, but man, you also have to remember it friendly fired a lot of the Chowie infantry from what I saw. Fireglaves did good. Baeltor's character was fine. Yeah, I need to go to the drawing board on this one. It's really tough to deal with those characters. They really bully your Baeltors. I love the Fireglaves, though. They're super fun. Bull Centaurs did all right, and then the Skullcracker tried its best. Yeah, Tzeentch build is good. This is like a meta Tzeentch build. You know, some nuances, of course, with your infantry selections are always an option there. But yeah, Centaurs, an Exalted Flamer of Tzeentch, an interesting choice. You don't see them too often, in my opinion. But yeah, overall, very solid build by LVO, and for Via, it was I would say, like, you know, borderline meme bringing the Dreadquake Mortar. But if you win with it, it's such a juicy win, you know. It's so solid. But GG well played. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that one. We'll see you around. Take care of yourselves, and hash it blessed, this ravaged body.